Oh, show it to us before you take live. If you say something. Hello everyone, so we are here after the amazing 10th year anniversary event and we launched a couple of interesting products including the brand new Redmi 13 5G. We launched our Redmi Buds 5C as well as two amazing new power banks, the Pocket Power Bank 10,000 mAh as well as the Power Bank 4i 10,000 mAh, and we also launched the RVC X10 which is our flagship Ultra RVC. But one showstopper that we also had at the end was the completion of our Human X Car X Home ecology, which is the Xiaomi SU7. So Anuj, I think finally we can reveal to the world what we have been working on for months or maybe almost a year, I think.
Actually, this getting the car here itself was what 4 months of hard work. Shipping it here, getting all the paperwork in, and obviously that container. So it's the shipping container, then the truck container. So it's been quite a journey. I think worth it.
Worth it for sure, I think seeing everyone's reaction to it, it was insane because, you know, just hearing the cheer, the crowd just erupted when they not even saw the car, they actually just saw the question mark. And then when the car came, everyone was like completely mesmerized by it. And I think it's so striking, especially in this aqua blue, that you keep looking at it, right? It's so beautiful.
Actually, everything about it, even down to the wheels and the brake, it just looks fantastic.
The yellow Brembo calipers, amazing. It looks really good. Did you know that this can go from 100 km/h to 0 in just 33.3 meters? That's actually insane when you think of it, right? And obviously that is deceleration, but the highlight is
the fun part of it.
So 0 to 100, 2.78 seconds. That's insane. Like because of Porsche Taycan, or if you take some of the best EVs or even internal combustion engine supercars on the market.
Supercars, hypercars.
Yeah, hypercars. This outdoes that, right? And that's courtesy of 663 horsepower powertrain, quad motors, and a range of 800. So it's not like you're sacrificing because generally you see a car which is really powerful goes really short in terms of range. They'll give you 450, 400. This one you're getting 800 kilometers of range plus that burst of acceleration, which is insane. And I mean, just to sit in it, right?
Yeah. So for me, you know, all those specs are great, but I know when I'm driving, I'm not going to do 0 to 100 in 2.7 seconds. I don't think it can ever happen in Bangalore. I hopefully am not driving at that speed that I have to brake that hard. For me, the most surprising part was actually when I first sat inside the car. It does not feel like a car that's a first car coming out of a brand.
Absolutely.
It just does not. Right? And if I compare it with, say, a Model 3, Model Y, they have been the global benchmarks in terms of electric cars. It is so far apart. It's, you know, I actually couldn't wrap my head around where I'm sitting and how is this possible.
So I think good comparison because a lot of people talk about the fit and finish, right? How that's actually important. And in this, it feels so good. It's like you rightly said, it's a luxury sports sedan. It's not either or, it's both. And what I also feel is there's a soul to this car, which I feel sometimes is missing. It has a very cold vibe, but this has a soul to it. Right? So that's what makes it stand out from almost every other EV on the market. And I just keep looking at it over and over again. But it is amazing.
But, you know, obviously it's a connected ecosystem. It's part of human times, car times home, all powered by HyperOS, everything kind of working together. So that's also another cool part of it where, you know, from a personalization perspective to your features or your settings coming into the car.
Correct.
I think one part that was very interesting, which, you know, when we were testing this car out in China, someone said that when we're saying human times car times home, the idea of this car actually was to how do you take that comfort of home and put it on 4 wheels. And that's why it feels so good inside.
That's a valid thing, Makes sense. And I think similar to that thought, like because you said, you know, powered by HyperOS, it all works seamlessly well. It's like, you know, you're listening to something on your phone and you enter the car, that gets transferred to your car. And then you reach home and then that plays in your home. And the temperature also can be matched, right? You can do a 24 degrees Celsius in your car and then reach home and it's 24 degrees, which is the easiest way. It's more convenient, it's more comforting, and I think that's the best way to look at it, right? That's what we hope to do with technology at the end of the day. Make our lives easier and better and faster.
Yeah.
So I think this is the final puzzle.
It's not the final puzzle. Actually, it's the first step. I would probably say this.
Right. Okay. Understood.
Right. So because what we've seen with Xiaomi so far is, I would probably say, is phase 1. Right. We've come obviously a long way, but phase 1 was probably, I would say, till February this year, before the car came out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It was about taking the best of technology, best of innovation, and try and make it available to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
With the car, and this is frankly just the starting point of all the innovation that you would see coming from within Xiaomi.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we are grown up in a way, or at least a teenager.
Yeah.
You're more than 10 years globally. We are able to put a lot of R&D efforts to start now defining technologies that are going to be built by Xiaomi, and obviously start redefining the global space. So obviously it starts with the car, but there are a couple of more steps which will be very, very exciting in the near future.
Actually, that's a very interesting perspective, right? So this is essentially kicking things off to another level. And I think one beautiful thing also that I noticed, our attention to detail when it comes to design on products.
Yeah.
That's also taken a huge leap forward. And this is something that I noticed with this. It's a really long car. It's a 5-meter long car. But because of the way it's designed, it doesn't feel that. It feels very sleek, very, aerodynamic, very much like a sports car. It's hiding its dimensions really well, which is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you feel a car is too long, it does not look, sporty, it does not have that vibe. But this is managing to do.
So it's just that balance, right? Again, luxury sports.
Yeah.
So that normally does not go together. I mean, if I look at those hypercars, just to get that performance, sometimes they just put it bare bones.
Yeah.
Right? This one's got all the frills in it, but it's also probably the apex in terms of technology from an EV perspective. So I think that's obviously very, very cool.
And there are some smaller things also which I noticed. One thing, so for example, in most cars, if you're playing something and it's suppose very loud, it's just you inside or maybe your friends, but the moment you open the door, all that sound goes outside and it's kind of disturbing the environment. Or the other way around, where someone opens and maybe you want to have a conversation with the person inside. In this, what happens is automatically lowers the volume.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, so it has the feature. So it lowers the volume. So you can have a conversation and you can ensure that the sound does not go outside. It does not disturb your neighbors, your family or whatever. Similarly, I love the fact that we have the additional buttons that you can add, right? The center console, the screen. Obviously, we are all moving towards a buttonless, touch-based UI, because it's infinitely adaptable.
Yeah.
But sometimes you want the tactile feedback, and that's when you can just modularly attach those buttons, which is an amazing hack. I think it's so simple, but no one thought of it.
Yeah.
Xiaomi is the first person to think of it. And then you also have those gauges that you can add, the equalizers, and all this.
And the small speakers and everything else.
Small speakers, yeah.
So,
and there's a built-in fridge for your soft drinks, for example, which is also cool. Yeah. And I was also trying the audio feature. If someone calls you, it comes through the headsets. So it's a bit more personal, like you're actually talking on a phone. So it gives you that immersive feel. And I think...
Which actually makes sense, right? Because if somebody's sitting in the back seat...
Yes.
And they are watching something else...
Yeah, it's firing backwards.
If it goes on all speakers like
normal
cars do,
yeah.
Right? It's more disturbing.
Yes.
Versus, again, at home, you can be taking a call while your family is still watching something else.
Yes.
Home on wheels. But like a futuristic home.
Yeah.
That goes from 0 to 100 in like less than 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's blisteringly fast. I think it's absolutely insane. And then very practical also, because a lot of space.
Yeah.
You have a frunk because it's a EV.
Yeah.
And a very spacious boot. Yeah. So it can actually take a family of 5 because 2 plus 3 and your luggage, enough for a weekend trip, everything. I think definitely the future. But yeah, I'm just looking at it again and again. Sorry.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Yeah. And it's also good because we see a lot of these technologies also trickling down to other products, tech products, like this 14 CV.
Yeah.
The 1600 charge cycles and 80% battery.
On the battery, yeah.
So that's something that's only seen in EVs normally. Because almost everyone else is giving 80% after 800 cycles. It's like doubling that. And considering that your average consumer is holding on to a smartphone for much longer, it makes more sense,
Sure.
right?
So actually, I'm thinking that obviously with us owning more and more tech, that entire build-up of a proper ecosystem.
Yeah.
See, right now, we've got certain ecosystems out in the world. There's one computing ecosystem.
Yeah.
Like, okay, your phone talks to your laptop, talks to your tablet,
Right.
and that's the compute ecosystem. In some cases, you've gone a little bit beyond and saying, okay, your phone individually talks to different appliances, like, a fridge for some reason, or a washing machine.
Yeah.
But how does everything in home, right, from all the things that you need for probably a more comfortable life, ACs and everything else that makes a difference, connect with your computing devices and also connect with your mobility devices?
That's true.
I think at least the next 5 to 10 years are going to be super exciting. At least the Xiaomi that we've known so far, I think with the same energy, we'll have a completely new Xiaomi, which will lead the global technology platforms.
I think that's awesome. That's a great note to end, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
But stay tuned. I think we will have more awesome stuff to share regarding the SU7 as well. So to all of you guys watching, let us know in the comments as to why you love the SU7. And if
Anything
you
else
want
that they want to know about it?
anything you want to know. Yeah, there's actually quite a lot that we haven't been able to cover in this because the tech is just so advanced. It is truly futuristic. But we'd love to talk more about it after we receive your feedback, your questions as well. But thanks a lot, Anuj. I think
Max?
great time talking about it, and I think the energy is still within all of us to hear the fans, media partners, everyone go gaga over this entire phenomenon that is the SU7. But thanks a lot. See you guys again in the next one. Until then, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.